Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm not going to go through this whole thread, but I do want to direct you to it. Ray Dalio, who's a billionaire and runs, he started Bridgewater Associates. He did a whole thread that really can bring home what's going on today for you. He calls it the changing world order. It says how the U.S. ran out of money in 1971. Gold was used in transactions between countries. U.S. wrote more checks than it had gold in the bank. People and countries rushed to exchange their checks for gold. This is when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And ever since then, we've had a fake monetary system, folks. So that's why I keep that. But go. He's got a video at the end of this thread as well. If you go, let me see if I can see it. Yeah, it's right here. Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. Go down and watch that video. This guy's really smart. This is why I keep talking to you about my sponsor, Glint. The link to this will be in the top of the description of this video. Glint is the first company I've ever seen where I could buy gold and then have it where I can spend it using my Glint MasterCard debit card. And not that I will spend it, but I want to have gold in this account so that if things really get bad, I have that spendable gold and I'm protected from inflation. All right. CNBC and Jay Clayton continue to slap us all in the face, and they have the gall to put this guy on to advise us all about crypto and the markets now.
And Jay, some pretty wild rides in the market. You've got every one of the major equities indexes, with the exception of the Dow, in bear market territory. Dow's almost there at down 19%. You've got the moves in crypto. You've got the huge swings in treasury yields. What does all this mean? And are people who sit on the Financial Stability Oversight Council that you used to sit on as head of the SEC, are they meeting and getting concerned at this point?
Well, good morning, Becky, and thanks for having me on. Look, there is a job for regulators to be looking at the markets, continue to look at the markets, and see, to put it bluntly, if markets are missing something. Now, 2 months ago, we spoke about the risks in...
Folks, write it down. Everything you're seeing has been planned. Write this down. These regulators, the Gary Genslers of the world, the United States regulators, all of these people, they were never going to let crypto be run by these rogue startup guys. This market, from Luna to now, all of this was by design. Make no mistake, there are people behind the scenes that engineered this crash, and I've said it for 4 years. The reason they did it is because they will control this. This idea that somehow this world from here going forward is going to be decentralized and they're not going to have the central banks aren't going to have any power, that is baloney. And how do you get the people? What would you do? I'll tell you what I would do is exactly what I think they just did. If I was Wall Street and I was the big boys and I wanted to maintain control, and more specifically, I wanted to get all of these assets knowing what's going to happen. I wanted to control this new asset class, digital assets. What would you do? If I was governments of the world, and I'm not saying which one, I would have my hackers full blown, ready to roll. And what we would do is we would intentionally crush some of these things. And once they were crushed, our Wall Street buddies would then all of a sudden show up and say, "Oh, we're now ready with our custody. That scary stuff that you've been dealing with a Celsius and this, well, you don't have to worry about that anymore because Wall Street's here. Remember, we've been your friends for 100 years. And now we're here and we've got custody set up. And you know all that scary stuff you've been worrying about where to put your crypto, and you've been scared about all of that. And it wasn't insured and it wasn't this and it wasn't that. Well, you can do that now. When you put it with us, it's just like buying stocks has been for 100 years. And that's what this has been about. Write it down. You heard it here. This is one of those things I'm 1,000% right about. Make no mistake. This is a controlled demolition. They knew that all the money printing would end here. This is to roll it into the new system and for them to control the new system. And this whole Ethereum decentralized business, that was word games. Say that's propaganda. And I guarantee you people sat in a room at some point and they said, look, you say decentralized, you shout it from the rooftops, you say it over and over and over until they believe it. That's propaganda 101, okay? That sounds like a thumbnail right there. Actually, somebody put something on my, okay. All right, propaganda 101, let's write that down. Propaganda 101. Anyway, now, here's what we got now, because the people aren't buying the SEC stuff now. We've got SEC is not for retail and puppet strings. I wonder who they're talking about. All right, moving along. So Jim Cramer, who has been running his mouth about how great Bitcoin is for how many months now? Jim Cramer has been activated, okay? Now he's openly mocking Bitcoin. Bitcoin, that tremendous storehold of value, is now down for 10 straight days. So now this guy was going on and on. Remember when he was on Pompliano's show and, oh, Pompliano taught him something and, oh, I'm going to have to rush out and buy Bitcoin. And now he's mocking it. And that's because the Jim Cramers of the world do what they're told, and Jim has been activated. Now, Eleanor Terrett, who is an actual journalist as opposed to Jim Cramer, Eleanor Terrett showed up to this party and started telling the truth. And it's a funny thing when you start telling the truth when everybody else is telling a narrative. What happens is the people out here aren't stupid, and they will find you and they will become viewers. And that's what Eleanor Terrett and Charles Gasparino have been doing, and kudos to them. And I actually tweeted yesterday, what in the world is the CEO of Fox thinking, not having already given Eleanor Terrett a crypto show? Because you want views, I give you views. She'll get the XRP army, community, whatever you want to call it, by itself will make her show popular. But other people will come too, because truth tellers draw views. And CNBC can't figure this out, but it's the way it works, man. I mean, it just is. Okay, she had Charles Hoskinson on, and she asked him an actual question that people want asked. Listen to this. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but listen to what she says.
Do you worry that it kind of seems that the SEC has given Ethereum a green light when they're going after tokens like XRP, now Binance as well, library token? Does it worry you that Cardano hasn't been given the green light by the SEC?
Regulation through enforcement is the worst possible thing to do. You have this monster of the week scenario of, well, who are they going after next? And there's material facts and circumstances aren't too different between a lot of these projects. What needs to happen is the legislative branch needs to step up and lead. They need to pass a law, and they need comprehensive crypto reform, and we need to focus on basic definitions. So we need to look at things like, what is the definition of decentralization? Everybody says they're decentralized, but there's 10,000 projects, and everybody's a little different in terms of who's in charge and how things work. We need a consumer protection bill of rights, a crypto user's bill of rights to define what rights.
Anyway, I'm not going to play any more of that, but he's so right. Further in that clip, he's talking about how Cardano is decentralized, which I agree with. The only problem is what I set up here. The current market as it is, unless Bill Hinman has walked to a podium and given a speech on your digital asset and proclaimed that, in his opinion, according to him now, in his opinion, that your project is sufficiently decentralized, then it's not sufficiently decentralized. Because Gary's not going to tell you. Gary won't say if you're a commodity or a security. And if you come to talk to him, as they say, all you become is a digital asset that goes in their stack of people to sue. And if you talk too much, you're going to give them information on which to use to sue you. So you can be decentralized. That's irrelevant in today's market because you have an SEC gone wild. You have an SEC that is not working in the best interest of businesses and investors that it claims to protect because they're not telling you anything. Unless Bill Hinman gave a speech on your digital asset in 2018 on June 14th, you have no cover. You could be 1,000 times more decentralized than Ethereum, but if Bill Hinman didn't say so, no, that doesn't count. And that's the problem. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I might split this video in half, and I might just split this thing down the middle because I've got some things I got to do. So if that happens, it happens. Thanks for listening.